Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews, and I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is the astrological forecast for April 19th through April 25th of 2020. Now, understanding this is a general forecast, meaning we are aiming at roughly the average run-in for people, for about 8 billion people on the planet. If this does not seem to apply to you, or to your sign, if you will, absolutely do a couple of things. Check out the forecast for your Mars sign, your moon sign, or your ascendant. All three of these have very big impacts on the way your life is going. Okay, so you can find those on your natal chart, or you can contact me directly and I can let you know. Contact numbers will all be listed at the bottom of the video here. So, before I forget to do it, because that's been known to happen, thank you very much for watching this video. Please like it, subscribe to it to make sure that you get all the new ones coming up, and absolutely share it with everybody you can. That will be greatly appreciated. Now, let's get started, shall we? Because we try and keep these short for a lot of reasons. But we start off with a general picture of what's going on for everybody. Then we'll go through it sign by sign. Then we do a wrap up with what goes on for everybody. Kind of like sandwiching it all in between. So, we start with the overall. And the overall, this week, for the week of the 19th to the 25th, we have the Three of Cups, showing what it looks like here. The Three Cups inverted tells you that you're looking at some disappointment. Some of the things you've been working on may be getting a little bit of a setback. So if you've had your hopes really high, be aware all things travel in cycles. There are peaks and there are valleys. So everything walks up and down. Understand any sort of setback that you're coming up against with work, most of them can be overcome. Which brings to mind the whole issue that we're dealing with right now with COVID. Understanding this is a horrendous time for everybody, but it too will pass. Aries here, we have the Judgment card inverted. Now this means that if you've been watching people that have been getting away in your eyes with the way they've been behaving, understand the Judgment card inverted does say that things they may seem to be getting away with it, or you yourself may seem to be getting away with it. Karma has a really bad habit of coming back around, or a really good one, depending on who you talk to. Because it's inverted, it tells you it may appear that you're getting away with it. Great, there's only one drawback. As I just finished saying, everything travels in cycles. So just like a tumbleweed, the Judgment card will come back around and things will come back to bite you. So be aware, stay working inside karmic law. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Okay, but this does indicate that at least you're not necessarily going to get shot for what you're doing. That's not always the case, by the way. Now, Taurus. Boy, this is one of those days where everything's upside down. Kind of feels like my day today. But Taurus, we have the Death card. And the Death card indicates the end of something. Of course, inverted, it also means that the end of it may be being delayed a little. Okay, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. If you're running your own business, then what you may find is the setbacks you've been having are you're getting something pushed aside that you're able to deal with temporarily. The inverted Death card also, by the way, indicates birth. You've got new ideas coming in that it would be wise to take a serious look at and see how you can work with them. And don't forget, ideas don't always come from your best counselors. Some of the best ideas I've heard from people have come from little kids. Okay, little kids or people completely outside the field I was working on at the time. Now, Gemini, we have the King of Pentacles inverted. This indicates that there is some financial outlay going to be required. Now, I realize that we are in a financial struggle right now. So think things through. As with all financial things, virtually all, you can work through it. Now, bear in mind, if you've been putting something off forever and a day, it may be coming down to the crunch line where putting it off is no longer a functional option. But if what you're up to is legal, and it's just been a case of procrastinating, the King of Pentacles says you will be able to sort through it. You'll be able to work with whoever it is you're having the issue around, and you'll be able to work through it if it is legal. If whatever you've been doing is illegal, well, obviously, first and foremost, you shouldn't have been doing it to start with, but you don't have as much room to negotiate. That's just the way things work there. Okay. Now, like I said, that is Gemini. Now, of course, Cancer here. Cancer, we have the Page of Wands inverted. So you do have messages coming back and forth. This looked like this week is certainly shaping up to look as though we're going to have to brace yourself for the week of the 19th to the 25th for temporary setbacks. Okay, for things that aren't necessarily going as smoothly as you would like. But this does show that there is likely to be some delay, some news that indicates a delay. But don't forget, look at the way delays happen. There's usually something good out of it. Years ago, I was traveling doing psychic fairs, and it was the middle of the winter, and I ended up getting delayed because we hit black ice, and I put my car up against the meridian. Nobody was hurt. We didn't even upset the load, but it held us up by, as near as we could figure, about half an hour, which, as it turned out, worked really well. We were rather disappointed because we got held up by half an hour, until we found out that at roughly the half-hour mark from when we had the accident, down the road where we would have been, an avalanche came down the mountain highway and wiped out the 2 cars that were in that area. So therefore, the delay that we had with the accident literally saved our life. Sometimes delays are good. Now, Leo. Of course, Leo. Everybody else gets an inverted, and Leo, what does he do? Comes up with what I call the wish card, the 10 of Cups. And what that indicates, 10 of Cups tells you that you're looking at an interesting setup. Your wish is coming through, and we are talking your positive wishes. If you're wishing for harm to somebody, probably won't happen the way you'd like, but it can come back to bite you. But the 10 of Cups, right side up, does show that you're getting to that point where you're going to run into what they call the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. That's the way I always look at it. The 10 of Cups is a really wonderful card from that standpoint. Now, when we get to Virgo, Virgo shows the Fool inverted, meaning that you do have to use your intellect here. Don't make the miscalculation of relying on pure luck to get everything to work out. Think your way through it. As I've mentioned in the past, when you're working on anything, if your heart and your head are in conflict, follow your heart, but use your brains to get there. And remember, follow your karmic laws. And for pity's sakes, follow the written ones. Okay, you don't need the hassle of not following them. Now, we go to Libra. Now, Libra is, I always look at Libra as the debutante of the zodiac, meaning they are the ones that are very astute at fashion, they're very astute at social etiquette and what have you. Debutantes sometimes can have a different perspective than some people may have gone to. I do my best to focus on the positive side of them. But with Libra, we have the Eight of Pentacles inverted. Now, what this tells you is take the tools that you have and refine them, work with them, but It does show you've got all the tools in hand to make the project you're working on at this point move forward. Don't forget though, this is for the week of the 19th to the 25th. Now, it may overlap a little with other weeks, but the important factor is work with what you got. Do not be in a rush to get things pushed through. Okay, getting into a rush is exactly what has caused a lot of our current complications. And in one of the other videos that I'm doing, that will become obvious as well, because we'll be addressing that at some point. Now, when we look at Scorpio, Scorpio has the four of swords. Now, the Four of Swords means it's going to be a hectic week for you. You'll notice if we turn it right side up, it looks like you're relaxing, which is what the Four of Swords, if it's right side up, means. The Four of Swords inverted means time to get to work. Whatever you've been planning on, whatever you've been working your way through mentally and putting figures down for, whatever, it's time to get up and implement the start of the plan that you've been working on. Take it to the next step. If it is ready. Do not be in a rush. Okay? Now, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, that was really intriguing English. Sagittarius, we have the Eight of Cups inverted, showing it's time to focus on the material world. Certainly keep your emotions in mind, keep the feeling of everything in place. Stay focused on what is working. Stay focused on doing things the right way, but this is a time to really implement the changes that you've been working on. Now, for those of you that have been following me through these videos, you've been given a lot of tools over the last couple of weeks. Okay. As I've mentioned before, we are working on trying to get one a day out. Not always horoscope, by the way. Horoscopes we aim at getting out, and some of you will recognize this. With the horoscopes, we are aiming at getting one out every Friday, and you'll notice the calendar here. That refers to a few other videos that I've got, but I literally mark down when I'm to post the horoscopes to make sure that I get it right. To stay on track. What we're looking at here is it does show that it's very necessary to really look at things and stay focused on the material world, on how your actions are impacting those around you. Now, Capricorn. Capricorn, now, isn't this nice? Intriguing. We have Leo and Capricorn, they get a bonus. The interesting part there is, aside from being on the zodiac, they don't have a whole lot of qualities in imbalance with each other. But Capricorn here has the Chariot right side up, meaning you've got your negatives and your positives moving in the right direction. Remember, keep minimizing the negative, maximizing the positive, but do not make the mistake of overlooking the negative. Negative issues going on around you must be taken into consideration in order to make positive things come out of them. Okay. Now, Aquarius. Aquarius, we have the Two of Pentacles right side up. Now, as it shows on the Two of Pentacles, especially on this deck, the Rider-Waite deck, it shows juggling, meaning you're able to keep things in balance. Again, it's going to take some work. It's going to take some thinking. But it's also a doable thing, and you're on the right track to manage it, especially where it comes to finances. Remember, you do have bills to pay, but don't make the mistake of trying to get them done ahead of time if you're not certain that you've got the money to carry on the same pattern. Now, Pisces. What do we got for Pisces? We have the Ten of Pentacles right side up. Now, this shows an extreme case of prosperity in a hurry. Whatever you've been working on, no, this does not indicate windfall, not on its own. If you've been pushing, if you've really been having trouble and you're working with things, the Ten of Pentacles indicates that you're managing to get it all in order. Okay, it does show prosperity happening for you. Okay, and we go back to the final overall card. we have the Seven of Cups. Now, the Seven of Cups indicates your imagination. Now, when we take this setback here from the beginning, the Three of Cups that shows a little bit of setback, a little disappointment, and the imagination card, combine those two and we have an interesting situation. You can either look at the negative and go, "Oh, I'm telling you, everything's going to go to the pot, or everything's going to fall apart," or you can look at it and go, "Ah, it's just going to be a brush off. Yeah, it's a pain in the neck, but here's all the things that we can do." I encourage you to look at the positive side of the setbacks that you're having. Sometimes they can be hard to spot, but this is where you use your imagination to make that happen. Now, that's where we're going to tie this off. Like I said, we try and keep these short. Doesn't always work that way, but with that in mind, okay, we're going to bring this to a close, and we will see you again ASAP. I'm recording things a little ahead of time because I've got the time to usually. Okay, like for instance, and for those of you doing video recordings, just a thought. I have a list of the ones I've already done, but like this one here is for the 19th to the 25th. Well, today is only the 13th. Again, just getting ahead of myself. It would be nice. It'd be a nice change. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that for now. So until we talk again, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sakes, stay positive.